So the Math Olympics competition is an annual competition. It takes place every year. It is for grades 4 through 8. Grades 4 through 6, it is a two-part competition. First part is called Battle of the Brains. It is Kahoot. The second part, it's a breakout box. It's kind of like an escape room, but in a box form. And the school team works together, and their goal is to solve math riddles and puzzles to open as many locks as possible and hopefully open the box, and they have up to 1 hour to do it. Every year I have a line of students who want to participate in this. This is part due to Mrs. Watts and Ms. Scholastico, our admin. They are super supportive of Math Olympics. And also, I've been the coach for quite a while now. The kids know that Math Olympics is fun, so it's something they want to participate in.
The competition isn't just individual. Each piece of the competition, their scores are being pulled together with their teammates. A big part of that score is the collaboration. And so the coaches really work with students on how to work together, how to kind of divvy up the puzzles to come together to, one conclusion. And so it's just really a life skill that we want students to have. It's really exciting to see all the families and the community that comes out to support this event. They can really see what students are doing. We have family engagement activities for families that are there, really just to celebrate all the hard work for the students and just another opportunity for our community to come together in a really positive way.
We are now the innovative academies of the Dayton Public Schools are in phase 3 of the Ford Next Generation Learning Academy program. And what that means is we are actually meeting with 8 tactic teams that are writing the master plan. And so that was so important and so valuable that we now can take it back and actually implement it to make sure our students are prepared for college and careers and can really support this workforce.
We are equipping our students with the necessary tools that they need to be successful. It's not just about the data that goes on in high school. We're talking about reaching our kids outside of 4 walls to obtain a career for themselves later down the road, okay?
I feel like it was really good to be in this room. I got to meet people that I ain't never been in a room with before, different principals, people behind the scenes that I don't even know about, and really get to see what goes on outside of just what I see inside my classroom.
I think overall it was good to collaborate, bring us all together. We got industry partners here. You have teachers, you have directors, our chiefs, principals are all coming together, and we're all sharing our different experiences and expertise along with our students, giving our students a voice to be able to share and speak on their experiences and the things that they want, because it's not just about what we see, but also want to see it through their lens as well, because sometimes we get so far disconnected, from being a student. And I think that's huge, to have all parties all on deck to collaborate. So this was awesome.
Well, I first would like to thank the hundreds, literally hundreds of partners that have come now to over 10 meetings with us to put all of this together. And from the bottom of our hearts, we thank them. For any community partners that haven't been engaged, we would like you contact us. We have job shadowing, mentorships, internships, all types of things that they could provide. All of that helps. But the biggest thing is when you hear about the innovative academies of the Dayton Public Schools, be sure to spread the good news that there's plenty of about what it means to support a district that's on the move and making transformations that not only helps our kids, it's helping the entire region.
Today we are here with our Dayton Debate League. We have students from middle school and high school, so we have a junior and senior division, and our students are participating in debate. The Dayton Debate League gives students a chance to have their voices heard on key topics that we hear in our community, that they hear in their social studies classes. And so it gives them a chance to really speak their voice and allow everyone to hear them. Each team at their home site, they are practicing, multiple times in the week. And as they are developing their speeches, and they really have to come prepared with both a pro and con argument, so they don't know until they get here what they're going to be arguing. So they have to be ready to argue both sides. And so they build this collaboration, this camaraderie, where they have to be able to really communicate with each other and read body language and do all this preparation and research. So it's a lot of background knowledge, a lot of prep, and so they're communicating and working together. I'm grateful to our community because they have really shown up. I'm grateful to our partners, to everyone who has come out to truly celebrate our students and support them. And I think they feel the love. I know that they feel the love because they communicate that.
I'm not thinking
They take our money, they take our money. Everybody gonna vote for people.
That's all of that.
Hey, Walker. Right.
Send a meeting.
y'all need to watch the movie Troy. That's supposed to that scene. This what you have to watch it. He out here trying to do his thing, right about. And the arrow goes through his house. He's going. No one thought maybe we could do something around it. Yeah, here's funny.
I look at you actually.
Meeting was good though.
You ain't seen me go come again, so I was like, oh.
That's because it was always boom, 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 it was 30 minutes earlier.
This is the second year he done had us change our time.
It's a good idea.
Not being
30 minutes already.
Yeah.
Will would like to know where it's Byron at.
He's on vacation, bro. Oh, I know you want people off.
You guys ready?
Oh,
Big balls, man.
People off relaxing.
and relaxing. You guys ready? Yeah, go ahead. We're going to start.
Call to order, Dayton Public School District Board meeting. Roll call.
President Bailey,
Here.
Mr. Lacy,
He has an excused absence.
Ms. Garrison,
Present.
Dr. Goodwin,
Here.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Present.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Walker,
Present.
6 present.
I guess I am the last one.
Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower. Our vision is to inspire, educate, and empower scholars for a lasting impact. Purpose to cultivate a supportive and engaging educational experience. This time pursuant to section 121.22G2 of the Ohio Revised Code, I move that this board go into executive session. This meeting is being held to consider the appointment, employment, and/or compensation or of a public employee, matters of security, and to confer with an attorney.
Second.
If I may quickly, we have lots of members of the public here. Do we have an estimate of how long we'll be in executive session? It's unusual for us to go, and there are reasons that we're doing this in the beginning, but I want to give them a sense of how much time we'll be back there.
Honestly, with how we usually be in executive session, I cannot tell you that.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate your patience.
I will
Thank you,
just
Mr.
ask that
President.
we be mindful of the people that are here and try to wrap it up as fast as we can. Madam Treasurer?
President Bailey,
Yes?
Ms. Garrison,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
6 yeses.
You got a badge?
On their laptop, they'll be on the laptop roll. I want to go back and look. What's they doing? Hey, no, David.
You see Sharice's email?
Technically, come back, 'cause I just refreshed, but I'll refresh again.
You talking about come back for what?
Just hang out, we can come back into our meeting.
We can't just go.
Yeah, we can come
Hearing
back over.
Hearing of the public is first.
Yeah.
Hearing of the public is first, before we get to recommendations.
Yep.
So. You see Sharice's email?
All right. Let the record show that the Board of Education of this Dayton City School District has just completed an executive session during which it considered the appointment, employment, dismissal, and/or compensation of a public employee, matters of security, and to confer with an attorney. Madam Treasurer.
Who? Second.
Second.
Dr. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Garrison?
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
6 yeses.
Thank you. Hearing from any of the bargaining units? All right. Hearing from the public, it is, sorry. Address the board as a whole through the president and not a board member. Materials for distribution to the board are handed to the treasurer. Limit remarks to 3 minutes. The president has the discretion to extend the time. When your time is up, you are to stop speaking. It is inappropriate to address any matter involving pending disputes, grievances under a labor agreement, disciplinary action involving an employee or a student, ongoing labor negotiations, concerns or matters that have already been settled, and/or any matter which because of its nature is deemed appropriate to be discussed in executive session. The purpose of the public hearing portion of the meeting is for members of the public to express viewpoints and public concerns. Madam Treasurer?
Heather Atkinson? Heather Atkinson?
She's coming.
Okay.
Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for listening to my remarks. I'm Heather Atkinson, 232 Park Drive in Dayton, Ohio. And I'm here tonight to speak as a parent of 2 kids in Dayton Public Schools. They both attend River's Edge. And some of my fellow parents are going to speak about supporting public education and making sure that we don't have cuts coming from the federal government to public education. My particular interest in public ed, my son Wyatt has a disability, and he has been on an IEP since kindergarten. And I would say that River's Edge, to me, is, just knowing what I do about the district, is actually one of the more well-resourced schools. Even that being said, I have seen the difficulty of getting Wyatt adequate services at that school. There are so many wonderful teachers, so many wonderful staff who work tirelessly to support Wyatt, but we have not been able to get adequate services for him, and I fear that federal cuts will make this even worse. And so tonight we're going to be calling on the board to support a resolution, hopefully, to call on the federal government not to make further cuts to public education and to our district. With that, I will turn it over to the rest of my parent colleagues. Thank you.
Kiera Williams?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Tiara Williams, and I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I'm an educator, and I'm a proud mom of 2 DPS students. My youngest, RJ, is 6 years old, and he has been diagnosed with autism and ADHD. As RJ has gotten older, I have watched him lose access to services that he needs, and we've spent months on wait lists, and we've had to consistently advocate to support services that he needs. In some cases, we have been told that he's aging out of services simply because he's now school-aged, and now we face the possibility of even more barriers to resources that should be available to him and other students that depend on them. Imagine a bridge that you must cross every day, and the journey is already difficult, but someone is widening the gaps in that bridge. For families like mine, those gaps represent reduced access to intervention specialists, special education supports, and critical services that help our children learn, communicate, and to thrive. This evening, I stand before you not only as RJ's mom, but as a voice for many families that fear that their children will fall through the widening gaps. This summer, I struggled to provide RJ with the opportunity to attend a sensory-focused summer camp with limiting funding and a few available resources. My family organized a fundraiser to make sure that the experience was made possible. And we were willing to do whatever it took because we understand how important those opportunities are for his growth and development. These are not just simply budget decisions, they're lifelines for children and families who rely on specialized support every single day. We are not just placing our children in DPS classrooms, we're entrusting the district with our education, our child's development, and their well-being. That trust carries tremendous weight, and it becomes difficult to maintain if access to services and support for the vulnerable is reduced. Many of the children are affected by these decisions cannot stand at this podium and advocate for themselves. They cannot explain the difference an intervention specialist makes or how speech therapy helps them to communicate, etc. Parents, caregivers, educators, and community members must be their voices. I ask each of you as board members to stand with our children and us as families. Please support a resolution opposing these federal cuts and advocate for the preservation of special education funding and services. Every child deserves the opportunity to succeed regardless of their challenges or disabilities, and the decisions made today will shape their futures of the students like RJ for years to come. I thank you all for your time and your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Onita Morgan Edwards.
Good evening. My name is Onita Morgan Edwards, 4120 Compton Court in Dayton, Ohio, and I live in the Dayton Public School District with my granddaughter. I am addressing the board today about the importance of Title I and my experience as a parent ambassador this past school year. Title I is important because we are a society of haves and have-nots. Title I helps close that gap. Title I is important because these funds are allotted for meaningful engagement at school. Title I is important because if the district does not use federal funds to help foster meaningful engagement, these funds could go away for good. As a parent ambassador this past school year, what I came away with is that there is a language barrier. I do not mean that we are speaking different languages necessarily, although that is true too. What I mean is that educated people often lean on their own lingo, their own industry jargon, and miss opportunities to connect with people on a human level. Biases and preconceived notions get in the way of helping children succeed. I have witnessed administrators talk down to parents, and I heard many excuses about why parents do not engage. But I believe personalities are in the way, and that we do not want to do the hard work of listening, engaging, and building relationships. I only committed to 1 year as a parent ambassador because it seemed my appointment was to blur the lines between the parent ambassador and family resource coordinator roles. I believe some DPS administrators and teachers do not want parents in their building. What are parents supposed to do when DPS asks us to sign a compact every year when we may not understand its function? What are parents supposed to do when perhaps we do not have the tools or capacity to help our children adequately at home? Who do we ask for help if we are treated like children ourselves when we show up for our children? Teachers referring to parents by their first names is one such example. Does DPS want parent engagement? Is it okay to continue handing over our children to people who do not respect or appreciate us? Can we, before addressing each other on the school grounds or in the hallways, check our bias at the door and think of each other as human first? Title I could be an excellent program for parent engagement instead of what I experienced, background noise shrouded in secrecy. Perhaps teachers and parents and administrators need to better understand what Title I actually is, how it can help us engage in meaningful ways. Thank you.
Thank you.
Johnny Watson.
Good evening, President Dr. Bailey, Vice President not here, board members, Superintendent Lawrence, and Treasurer Braha. So I'm a second-generation DPS alumni. My mom went to DPS. She first went to Roosevelt, and then when Fairview was built, she went to Fairview. I would have sent my daughter to DPS, but at the time, didn't really think things through enough. And my husband is also a DPS graduate, and his sisters. So federal and state cuts to public schools are so detrimental. We've already seen the results of that, especially in large urbans, and I don't think that's unplanned. We've seen how we've had to cut programs and how it's affecting the most marginalized students in our state and in our country. Public schools provide equal access to education, foster social cohesion, and prepare citizens, our future citizens, for democracy. Public schools welcome all children. They are legally required to accept all children. And they also ensure civil rights protections and provide specialized services to accommodate various learning styles and physical needs. But I don't think I'm preaching to the choir. So I hope that I understand that you had received a resolution that was to oppose the federal cuts that are coming and have come. And I hope that you will truly consider accepting and moving the resolution forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mystic Gooden.
Hello, my name is Mystic Gooden. I am coming, good evening, board members. I am coming as a graduate of Dayton Public Schools. So I often feel like I had bigger dreams than what I was academically prepared to pursue. When people talk about education funding, they usually talk about numbers, budgets, programs. I'm here to talk about what those decisions can look like years later. As a student, I was diagnosed with ADHD and placed on an IEP, and my school did recognize that I needed additional support. But looking back, the support I received just wasn't enough. I graduated from Dayton Public Schools believing I was prepared for adulthood, college, and a career. It wasn't until years later that I discovered there were significant gaps in my education, especially in math. Since graduating, I've made multiple attempts to enroll in college, workforce training programs, and other educational opportunities. Each time, placement tests showed that I was not academically prepared for the next step. Today, as a 32-year-old mother of two, I am finally receiving tutoring through a local nonprofit organization to strengthen my skills that I should have mastered years ago. What hurts the most is that I didn't know there was a problem. I thought I was prepared because I graduated. People often assume that when adults struggle, it's because they didn't try hard enough, but I've tried. Okay, sorry. What hurts the most is that I didn't know there was a problem. So before I tried to go to college, I've tried other programs, I've sought tutoring, I've spent years trying to catch up. Those educational gaps have affected more than my education. They've affected my career opportunities, earning potential, confidence, my mental health, and my ability to provide the life that I want for my family. I am not here to blame any individual teachers. I know there are educators who care deeply about students and work incredibly hard every day. My concern is that when schools lack resources, staffing, and support systems students need, some students fall behind even when their struggles have already been identified. I often wonder where I would be today if I had received the support I needed when I was a student. And that's why I'm speaking tonight, because I know I can't be the only student who graduated with bigger dreams than what they were academically prepared to pursue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alexis Rayner.
All right. Good evening, President, Treasurer, Superintendent, board members. I know a lot of you guys up here. I know all of these parents who just spoke, all of these educators who just spoke. And I'm here along with them to talk about the resolution that was sent to majority of our board. I don't think I sent it to you, Superintendent, but for the cuts that are happening coming from our federal government. So I want to thank all of the board members who have taken the time to meet with us about the resolution, to review the resolution, and to engage in conversation about what's at stake for all of the students and the parents. Tonight, we're asking for your support of a resolution opposing the federal cuts to public education funding. For Dayton families, this is not a political issue. This is a student issue. Federal education funding helps provide students support for disabilities, students from low-income households, after-school programs, mental health services, academic interventions, and many of the resources that our children need to be successful in schools. When the funding is reduced, the impact is not felt in Washington, D.C. It's felt right here in Dayton, Ohio, from our students and our parents, and widely our community. Further reductions in federal support will create additional barriers for the students and the teachers who deserve to provide and receive opportunities to learn, grow, and thrive. This resolution that you receive will also send an important message that Dayton stands with its students, its families, and its educators. It tells policymakers at the state and the federal level that our community expects investments in public education and not cuts. We also see this resolution as the beginning of a stronger partnership between families and the Dayton Public Schools. We are committed to building a parent advocacy coalition that will help elevate community voices, provide testimony, and ensure families remain engaged in the decisions that affect our children. We appreciate your leadership and respectfully ask for your support and a unanimous vote in favor of this resolution. And we thank you for your time and your commitment. Again, my name is Alexis Renner. I'm happy to reach out or share my contact information with anybody who would like to be in further conversation with any of the folks who spoke here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah Ling.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Ling. And this past school year, I was the literacy specialist at Wellgaman Middle School. Many of you saw me last in April. when I spoke a bit about the situation I have been trying to resolve since November of last year. I'm here again because rather than being able to enjoy my summer, I'm still trying to get this resolved. I have been working with Dr. Tanya Davis, who has been incessantly rude and unprofessional as well as condescending. On April 7th, Dr. Davis emailed me with a solution to my issue. I would be put on the board agenda for April to be placed on step 5 on the salary scale with an effective date of January 5th of this year, and would include back pay for that time when we were trying to resolve this whole thing, since I had been in contact with her since the beginning of second semester. When I accepted this, I assumed it would be done. As you may have figured out or may remember, it was not done. It was not placed on the agenda for April. After my insistence, it was placed on the May agenda. I had emailed Dr. Davis asking for updates on the situation multiple times, and those emails went unanswered. However, I did see that I was placed on step 5 of the salary scale and was hopeful that the back pay would follow. Last week, I asked for another update on the situation and got no response. I emailed again this morning, and Dr. Davis told me that the board did not approve the back pay, effectively blaming all of you for why my issue was not addressed. Again, I looked at the minutes and I saw why the back pay wouldn't have been approved, and it was because whoever added my information to the agenda set the effective date as May 13th instead of January 5th as promised. Your mission is to inspire, to educate, and empower. This can't happen without professionals doing their job every day, whether they want to or not. I don't know whether Dr. Davis is being intentionally malicious or just not doing what she's supposed to be doing. But this behavior is wrong and should have no place in any organization, but especially an organization that is so essential to this community. To continue to overlook this behavior is to condone it. And once that happens, you fail your mission on all 3 counts. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes tonight's speakers.
All right, thank you.
Request a 48-hour waiver to present the following agenda items.
So moved. So moved.
Second. Madam Treasurer?
President Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Garrison,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
No.
5 yeses, 1 no.
I ask the board to approve item B for a vote.
So moved.
I would like to.
Second.
Gotta be second. Hold on.
Who
Yeah.
seconded it?
Mr. Walker.
I just a second so we can go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would like to vote on B9 separately. Can I vote on B? So B8 separate as well?
There is.
I would like to say, it's unfortunate to see Ms. Moss go. I know how much of an asset she has been to the families at Horseman and this district. But I'm excited to see her prosper in her new district moving forward.
Can I make comments, Dr. Miller?
Say what?
Can I make comments?
Before?
Anything on
Go
the
ahead.
motion on the floor.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
as much as I hate seeing people leave the organization, I'm always excited when people get other opportunities, because I truly believe that you celebrate people when they get to go on somewhere. We have lost some great talent, and you all will be greatly missed, but I do hope that you go on to your new endeavors and you have an amazing time there. And I hope that the same light that you brought to this district, you are able to bring into wherever you guys go next. So thank you for your service to us. You will be missed, but I am happy to hear that you are going somewhere else and you are doing some things that you are excited about. And that's to all three of the individuals, no one individual. Yeah, everyone individual. And congratulations on retirement to the individuals who is able to retire. Thank you.
Can you pull B9?
That was already pulled for a separate vote.
It's been taken off. It shouldn't have been on there.
Wait a minute, you put it for, you want to vote on it separate?
Ms. Garrison already pulled it for a separate vote.
You saying you want to, President, you saying you want to take it off the agenda?
Yeah,
Yes.
it shouldn't have been on
Should have
there.
been on.
again.
Who moved it?
Who moved this motion?
Yeah.
Is this my motion?
I thought you seconded the motion.
I think I second, I don't know.
She's.
Whose motion is it?
Goodwine motion.
Oh, it's my motion.
Goodwine, Walker seconded
I
it.
need an amendment, a friendly amendment to pull it, Dr. Bailey.
Could you,
No, I need you to ask for it.
could you do a friendly amendment to, on B9? All
To pull it off, yes, I accept it.
right, thank
We
you.
can still have a discussion.
Pull out which one?
B9.
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 Now, we're only looking at B right now, correct?
Correct.
Questions and concerns?
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, it's going to come back up when the other board members here, so it can pass and move forward. I just don't, this district has not moved academically the last 3 years besides CTE. That is the only thing that we have prided ourselves on. Like, that's the sign hanging in the back. And we have constantly lost teachers, we've constantly lost academic coordinators, we've constantly lost principals, we've constantly lost so many staff members because of the politics and of individuals. And it is, I don't see where adding a second associate superintendent really works with what the true mission and vision of this district should be to move forward. This is not that. So I know it's going to come back up when the other board member is here so that you could get your 4 yes votes to vote on it, but I'm still going to vote no even then too. So, and thanks to my colleagues for warning the superintendent to pull it so that it wouldn't get voted on tonight. So that's my comments on that one.
Any other comments? All right, Madam Treasurer.
President Paley,
Yes.
Ms. Garrison,
This is voting on everything but B9, right?
B8 and 9.
All of B.
B8.
A and B.
B8 and
Yes.
B9.
I thought I said yes already.
Okay. Ms. Garrison?
Okay, that's why I said yes. I said yes.
Oh,
I did the first
Dr.
time.
Goodwine?
Yes.
Chill out.
Ms. Reinhardt?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
6 yeses.
Second vote should be on B8 alone.
Oh, there was a question on B8. This is a 2-year contract?
B8. B8. Yes.
So the current principal of Rosa Parks, it's about 108,000, and then we're moving her to be academic coordinator and keeping the salary for 2 years, and then we're hiring a principal at Rosa Parks for 99,000. Okay. We can vote.
President Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Garrison,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
No.
5 yeses, 1 no.
Dr. Bailey, can we take C through G together?
So moved.
Sure. Second.
C to G.
Can we do
Okay.
each 16 and 29 separate as its own vote?
Who seconded it?
Dr. Bailey?
You said E16 and,
E16 through E29 as a separate vote.
all right.
Ooh. Hold on, Dr. Bailey, I got one for myself too.
Any other questions, concerns?
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. President Bailey,
Hold, we still have comment.
It's one of them, trying to find it.
I think I saw it in did I? No. It was one from the law, yes.
We took C through E together, correct?
I took C, yes, no, I took C through G.
Can we do C30 separate?
All right, C30 separate.
Yes.
I did have a question, actually.
Mr. Walker?
On E30, okay, it says revision from previous board date, but the change does not take effect until July 1, not currently, right?
Shouldn't, because you can't break, it's in contract.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Any other comments? All right, Madam Treasurer?
President Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Garrison,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Abstain.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
5 yeses, 1 abstain.
And,
I think C30 is first.
C30,
C,
that was first.
C30, voting.
C30.
Oh, that's what I was looking for.
President Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Garrison,
Abstain.
Dr. Goodwin,
Abstain.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
4 yeses, 2 abstain.
All right, I think we're at E16 through 29.
Yes. I put it because I feel that as a district, I know that we are looking at budget items. However, I feel like the individuals that are on this reduction in force, the assets that they bring to Dayton Public Schools will be truly missed. And I feel that as a district, we found a way to make other things work, we could have did the same thing here. So that's my comments on that one. We can vote.
I do have a question. With these, didn't we do something to try to get them other positions or something like that, I thought?
When I asked that, they told me no.
No?
They said no one applied for any other position that they was capable of in this district.
Is that true?
I don't know. I do know that there were a job, almost like a job fair. The county was on the 5th floor. I saw Associate Superintendent Minor working through that process. I'm looking at HR. I don't know if there were other things that were offered, but that's,
No.
Question for you.
But
One thing, with a reduction of force, where's the company resolution? And are these individuals are different than the ones that we've already voted on? This is another batch?
So that resolution, it was, the administrative one had the people in the resolution.
There were life coaches and new arrivals. That's what first, where's the resolution? Because this is not how you do a reduction of force. So let's start there. Where's the resolution?
We did that one last meeting.
We had a resolution too that they brought, correct? That's what I'm asking for, Dr. Laura.
yeah, the resolution was last time.
It had the names on there too. On the
That is correct.
resolution. So you're asking us to vote on the same people again? Why?
The DSS one that they had did not have those names in it. Or no, Ms. Kidd?
Okay.
Yeah, Ms. Kidd, could you?
If I could just get some clarification. Are there duplicates from the resolution? And then I don't think we should vote on this because it doesn't have the resolution that goes with it. And I don't want y'all to get into a practice of doing something different than what we do when we do a reduction of force. There's language that needs to accompany that information.
So what I was told was that the administrative one that we did, the resolution had the people in the resolution as well as we voted on them outside of the resolution as well, like this. For the DSS one, it just had the resolution but not these individuals like this, as listed as reduction in force.
Is this the one where we had to do the resolution first anyway?
Last time we did a resolution and the people were in it in the sub-heading.
Yeah. Every time we do a reduction of force, it has a resolution.
Yeah.
Stating why you're doing it.
Correct. We just don't put it on the agenda.
So was the resolution not done? I'm a little not clear on this.
There was a resolution. The question is, are the names from last time identical to this one? So I would say, let's tape, if you all can tape it, and we'll get you that
Whose
information.
motion is this?
I'm looking at it now.
Is this my motion?
There's a resolution.
That's nice. Dr. Bailey? And I'm gonna amend, actually, let me think about that.
These names were in the resolution last week, but then we took the reduction, so that's not.
But why are you voting on them twice if we've already approved that? That's the bigger question. We've already approved it.
So
I'm trying to see if
the resolution, literally, so the resolution for these ones, it was just the resolution. But under the HR agenda, it just had,
No,
under
their
the
names are listed in there.
Right, but on the other one, it did not. So,
What other one? What are you talking about, Walker?
so under the administrative one,
Correct. We voted on a resolution to reduce force that listed the reasons and the individuals that were being reduced. So that is
Right.
complete and done.
so under the May 18th meeting, under the
Right,
May
16
18th
people
meeting,
were riffed. We don't know why some of them came back again for a second vote, because we've already decided that issue.
did legal leave?
Is there anyone on this list that was not voted on?
I have to check it. I have to go
All
on.
right. So, Dr. Bailey, I'm gonna amend my motion to pull these individuals.
All
We'll
right.
pull this off of there mainly because we've already voted on this.
There's somebody that was from the resolution that's not on here, but that's a whole separate thing. But I don't see so far any names that are on this one that were not
Right.
in the resolution.
It shouldn't have came up again.
So we can pull this?
Yeah, it don't have to be
Yes.
up.
It shouldn't have been up. So, yeah,
So we'll pull this.
that's correct.
You just pull those numbers.
Thank you. I think that's it for you, Mr. Superintendent?
For a vote, yes, I have some recommendations for review.
Dr. Bailey?
Yes.
I have to exit the meeting, and I just wanted to put it on the record at 6:39 that Dr. Goodwine is exiting the meeting.
Thank you.
Y'all got it. Y'all have a good time.
Yeah, superintendent's recommendations, A through F for review.
A through F for review.
F says it's for a vote.
That's what I was gonna say, there is one on here. that says
Oh, yeah.
for a vote, but I had a
F
question
is for
about it,
vote.
too.
So are you saying A through E?
A through D are for review, and I think E and F, could you change those for review?
S and G,
Yeah. No, it says on here, well, let me refresh.
I thought that we were voting on E.
Yeah, we were supposed to vote on E.
so you want E to be up for a vote?
I do not want E up for vote today.
Okay.
Is F and G for a vote?
F and G.
All right, so A through E for review. Any questions or concerns? Yes, no?
What? D is, okay, D is for review.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Superintendent? F?
I asked for F and G for vote, recommendations F and G for vote.
Can we table these? We have not, as a board, had a public conversation or public presentation about this at all, as far as where we are finance-wise and why we're looking at this, like meals and things like that regarding the levy. So to put this up right now, I mean, we still have time. But yeah, I just don't feel comfortable with voting on this today.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes.
As a reminder, what is the date by which we need to get a resolution of necessity for a levy approved by the board? And I say that acknowledging that I know the sooner the better, but what is our timeline here?
It is at the board agenda now because the lawyers were saying they don't have time. They will have time now if we put it. They don't have time if we delay it.
My question is, what is our timeline? I understand it's better to do sooner rather than later. And I would like to have it sooner rather than later if we're going to go forward with it. But I would like to know, be reminded, and have the public get a reminder of what our timeline is. Because I also feel like we need to have another public conversation. I agreed with Board Member Walker. This is something that just necessitates some conversation before we vote on it.
Let me check and let you know.
Thank you.
So
can we table these?
So there's an email that came. So one of the resolutions is saying to pass by the board for the June 9th meeting. Yeah, so one is to pass the send to the auditor for the June 9th meeting. Then the auditor sends back a resolution, which is supposed to come up to us by June 23rd. Yeah, but I think we can push this out according to.
So can we table this until our next meeting?
Alex is saying the ballot has to be by August 5.
August 5th. Thank you. Obviously, again, a little bit more time.
It's usually around the same time that you have to put in if you're running for office. It's around that time.
So we're going to
Basically
table.
making sure
What,
that instead of getting, you
yeah.
want to have a runway time, so if they get it, that they have to then send it over, so you want to give that space, so you don't want to come and vote on it around it, because you want to have everything back.
He is saying date of the resolution is by the end of June. Date to get on the ballot is August 5th.
So
We have space to the end of this.
can I ask if we can have a presentation at our business meeting about where we are financially and why we're looking at these mills?
Can we direct that to the treasurer? Can we get a presentation on both of these resolutions and the different impact of them and the difference between the two at the business meeting?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Is
And-
that good? Anything else you want?
Yeah, so is this calling for us to do a property levy?
Operating 5 mil and,
But this is just property, right? Or? what-
yeah, property.
Okay, so can I ask for information on both property and income tax as well?
Income tax? Okay. I can ask the legal, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So we're going to table both of these, all right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Treasurer.
Is that all you got, Dan Dot?
That's all I have. Who's my recommendation?
Treasurer's recommendation.
Oh, okay. I have the temporary certificate of estimated resources. We calling it temporary because we don't know how much fund balance we're going to close the year. But our estimated resources for next year are, what we are estimating is 142.6 million to start with, but from property tax for all our funds is going to be 94 million, and other sources, which is operating foundation grants and miscellaneous items, is going to be 255.9 million. So total estimated resources for all funds is going to be 492.6 million. This is just unestimated resources. Do you have any question on that?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Madam Treasurer, so are you asking us to vote on A through C?
Yes, because we want the district to start the budget.
So I'll motion to approve A through C.
I second that. Any other questions?
Appreciate that, Madam Treasurer.
All right. Madam Treasurer, vote?
President Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Garrison?
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin?
It's not here.
Oh my God, okay. Ms. Reinhardt?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
5 yeses. Okay. D is the permission to utilize a single source procurement. This is, okay, let me go. This is the rationale for this is according to the ORC 331346, the Dayton Board of Education intended to solicit competitive bids or as required by ORC. So that is the to give us an authority to go for solicitation for single source.
Any questions, concerns? All right.
This one is permission to advertise it for formal solicitation. This is every year we request. If you have any questions on that one. we
Any
can
questions,
answer.
concerns? Nope.
F is permission to utilize purchasing cooperatives. This is every year we request so that we can utilize purchasing cooperatives.
Questions or concerns? We can move on.
Monthly financial, this is a space holder until the finance committee meets. H is approval of the minutes. The minutes are here for May 7, May 12, May 8. And Dr. Walker, Mr. Walker, as you
I see.
requested, we put those. on
I
there.
appreciate you.
You're welcome. Donations, we have several donations. Thank you, donors, until I send the letter. Purchase requisitions. We have several requisitions from different departments. Let's look at them. If you have any questions, we'll answer.
Any questions or concerns on purchase requisitions? I looked at them earlier, I didn't have nothing. You have anything? No. We can move on.
Okay. Contract, I have one contract. This is a brokerage for McGowan Bray Bender for 1 year.
Can I go back to purchase orders real quick?
Go ahead.
Ms. Hamilton, the X-Tech contract is because of the new state law? Is that what? For the IT closets and things like that? I don't see, or, sorry, Ms. Pat, I forgot you was on there. Oh.
Are you referring to House 196?
Yes.
Yes, so I won't speak for that specific purchase request, as I do believe that's through the Business Services Division. But yes, House 196 does require a lot more oversight for certain technology restrictions and helps to ensure that school districts as well as other local agencies and government groups are properly protected from cybersecurity threats.
So then, Ms. Powell, this basically goes aligned with that House bill and what IT is looking to do?
I believe so.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Madam Treasurer, is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Business manager, or is that you, Ms. Powell? Coming up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's been a while. On behalf of Dr. Jones, Business Services Division, he has the following item on the agenda for vote.
So move.
Second. Any questions, concerns? All right. Madam Treasurer?
President Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Garrison,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
You sure we took, okay, they did take that on off? No, I can't go. Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
5 yeses.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Policy reading. Inasmuch as the Board of Education is committed to the continued updating of its policies, rules and regulations manual, and the committees which was appointed has been working toward that goal, the following are brought at this time for first reading in compliance with Board File BFC policy adoption. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Dayton City School District, Montgomery County, Ohio, hereby accepts and adopts the following policies that have been codified for inclusion in the Handbook of Policies, Rules, and Regulations. EDEF, Artificial Intelligence, new policy. These policies are being read for the first time. As such, a motion or second is not required. The policies will be available in the superintendent's office for review and comments prior to their second reading and adoption by the Board of Education. Therefore, the policies will be reviewed by the superintendent's office, the board's office, and the legal department of the Dayton Public Schools prior to the second reading.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I do not see the policy attached. Can we please make sure that the policy is put under there?
Yes, ma'am. Do you have that policy, Mrs.?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Voting on resolution B, new business?
Motion to approve B and C together.
Second.
Who seconded it?
Dr. Walker, Mr. Smith.
Mr.
Second.
Smith.
He's second. Mr. Smith second. Any questions or concerns?
Thanks, Ms. Hamilton, for all that you do and the work you've done and contributed so far for getting this district on the right track.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Madam Treasurer?
President Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Garrison?
Yes.
Dr. She's not. Ms. Reinhardt?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
5 yeses.
Thank you. Eric Walker?
Comments. Yes, I'll start with, there's a MOU on here for the 24 pay. I will publicly say that I am one that is not for the 24 pay. I think that we have to be mindful of the time and state that we are in. And when we look at things like this and the effect that they have on everyday people and not just people of a different salary bracket than others, we have to be mindful of what the appearance of things looks like. And I feel like for the time of the first message in the all email that went out August 1st of 2025, and we are now at June 9th, 2026, and this is still have not been figured out since then. This is a problem for me. I know that one union did adopt a resolution, but the other unions have not. And I stand with those unions and calling for us to do the right thing. And so that is my comments. Enjoy the summer, everyone, and looks like I'll see some of you Saturday. Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you, sir. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody that came out to speak. And apologize that you guys had to wait a little bit longer. But that is how sometimes it goes, and we definitely want to always make sure that we take time to lift up people that come out to speak. Secondly, I want to say thank you for being vulnerable. It's very, very, very hard to get up in front of people and talk about your children in a way that comes across like you're really being yourself, but then also advocating for other people, and that's really hard to do. It's very easy sometimes to talk about what you want to see. It's very easy to talk in this global nebulous, but to really bring in what we need to be doing as a community, not only for your household, but understanding and seeing some of our most vulnerable children. So I definitely want to lift up the organizers that were in the room, and I want everyone else who does not consider themselves an organizer to know that they are in that space already. I want to lift up Ms. Joni Watson, who I was organizing around back when my 17-year-old was maybe 5. Got to see my guy Bill Dudley in the room, who we've done work across this state back when my hair was probably like this long. So I really appreciate that, and I want to give Miss Alexis Renner her flowers and being able to organize. And I think we met almost a month ago, and to see how you've been building up a coalition of people around, and that is from the resolution. That is one thing that I do want to have further conversations, because I want anything that we look at as a district and as a body to really have teeth behind it. And I think one of the biggest things that I like that it was in there is supporting the development of a parent and community advocacy coalition. And I want us to really, if we talk about doing that, to really do it. Because I think sometimes when we talk about, at our level, when we talk about advocating and when we talk about parent and family engagement, it can get stuck in a space where you deal with the same few people. And then after a while, if it doesn't generate anything, you lose the people. And you lose the people that are coming out because they're hungry and they're hungry for a win. And so I really want to see what that really truly looks like, because I do think the way our board is right now, I like to look around and see that there are people on this board that I knew before they got on the board from being in the community. So just the organizer in me was just so thrilled to see people coming up and really advocating on behalf of this community. And I think we'll be in a better space if we do more of that. So kudos to everybody that came out. Please keep doing that. Secondly, please everybody share resources for these children to do. I don't know if you guys have been seeing, but our city and our youth have been on fire the last few weeks. And I think sometimes it can get lost in us looking at what goes on in DC, what goes on in Columbus, but what's going on here in Dayton, Ohio, for a lot of our people is really scary. Like, there are people constantly posting videos of young kids going through their yards, shooting guns, running up on doors, finding resources for these children, having real conversations, because one of the things that I hate is when we have these spikes of violence, people find out ways to be performative instead of finding ways on how to perform for children. And so if we can share these things, because we have to make sure that we can keep our arms around these babies as long as we can. Because they're making those mistakes, and when you hear guns go off, it's only this fine line that determines if someone lives or dies. And we have so many people, these young people don't really even have that in their minds already. And so I just want us to really keep in mind that this is a dangerous time of the year. It's hot outside. People do not have things to do, or they do not know of better things to do. So please get out and share with people just any resources you know. If there's ways you can help people get help, if there's ways that we need to find connections to get out and speak to young people. And I'm saying that as somebody who will extend myself as well. Please reach out to me if there's any way I can help in our community. So let's do that. For the little ones, please make sure they are reading and doing some kind of educational things this summer, because one of the things we do not want is for the work that our teachers and staff are doing to be in vain when we come back into August and we see the students are further behind in August than they were in May. So please make sure that we're still trying to do educational things with these kids. Get outside, let them be children though as well. Like, please let them be children, but we gotta raise these children the way we need to. And with that, I'm ready to go home. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you, sir. Ms. Reiner.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple items. First of all, I would like to thank the parent over here. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I'm grateful for your vulnerability. Yes, yes. During public comment is not the time for us to respond, but I'm taking the time now. I want to thank you so much for what you said, and I'm grateful that you're getting access to resources now. And thank you so much. I appreciate you showing up. The second, can we make sure that we have HR get with this teacher over here and iron out the issue? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming again. The third is there are just a few updates that I have. Our federal legislative advocacy group has been meeting every month. We are preparing for a trip for advocating for public education in DC in September. Which is relevant to the resolution that was brought forward to us today. I want to thank that group for bringing that to us. I'm looking forward to meeting with you. I don't know if there's a willingness to, I think we would all like to look at it and have conversations with you, maybe make sure that we fully understand what it is. But I'm hopeful that we can bring it to the board for approval in time for me to possibly, if you would like, I could bring it with me in September when I go out to DC and meet with our legislators out there. So thank you very much. And I will keep the board updated on preparing for the trip out there. It is relevant to note, there were a couple parents that talked about services for their students with disabilities. One of the legislative platform items that we talk about every single year when we do this work, and I've mentioned this in board meetings before, is the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act. It was passed in 1975 with the promise that public schools would educate students with disabilities and that the federal government would cover up to 40% of those costs. Even though the promise was made that the federal government would cover 40% of those costs, the highest that the federal government has ever reimbursed and covered those costs was at 18%. And last I heard, we were at 13%. There are services that we provide that we don't have adequate funding for. And it breaks my heart to say that. It breaks my heart that we have students who do not have adequate services. I am deeply grateful for the administration and the teachers who are doing everything that they can. That is not their fault. It is one of those things that I am deeply grateful for my opportunity to go out to DC at least once a year and talk in a very real sense about the impact that that has in Dayton. So thank you so much for sharing your stories. I really appreciate it. There are a few legislative updates that I wanted to bring to the attention of the board. There are actually a lot of pieces of legislation that I would like to update you on, but I'm not going to take 20 minutes. Two things. House Bill 523 passed the House. It's the Future Educators Support Act, and it is in regard to financial support for student teachers. And the second is, sorry, I had it right here. I'm going to scroll down. Again, there are a lot of bills that are going through right now. It is House Bill, nope, sorry. There we go. House Bill 715, sponsored by Representative Manning and Odioso, had proponent testimony in the Education Committee. And this is in regard to changes to chartered non-public schools' EdChoice scholarship reporting. I'm happy to bring more information to the board in the district if that is something you would like to have, but I know that we've had a long meeting. So with that, that is all that I have today, Mr. President.
Thank you. Ms. Garrison.
Yes, so I wanted to thank everyone for coming out and speaking. As my colleagues have already stated, I did want to speak to you directly. What's your name? Miss Mystic. So when I graduated, and I always say the Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, primarily because there's more than one, and most people don't know that. I went to Wright State, and I had to take some developmental classes, even though I graduated with honors and top 20 in my class. And then when I went on after I got my bachelor's degree to get my MBA at Wright State University, fear of finance, it took me 10 years to finish that degree, not because I couldn't, but because I let fear get in the way. So what I had to do was get creative. So in one of my finance classes, I sent an email out to all the students in advance. I said, hey, listen, I'm not going to be able to do this without a team. And if you guys will agree to meet with me on a weekend, because you know professor hours are kind of wonky when you're in the MBA program, I said, maybe we can get this done together, because if you get one thing wrong in finance, the whole answer's wrong, okay? And so I did that and passed those last 2 classes, and I have my MBA. And I'm not ashamed of how long it took me to get there. So don't be ashamed of where you are, because God will put the resources and people around you to help you get to where you need to be in His time. Now back to my other thing. As a member of this board, I want to speak today from a place of responsibility, urgency, and commitment to the students and families of Dayton Public Schools. First, we must remain clear about the importance of organizational alignment. A school district cannot function effectively when its leadership structure is undermined, whether through inconsistency, fragmentation, or actions that work against established lines of authority and accountability. Healthy institutions require role clarity, respect for process, and a shared commitment to the mission of the district. When those things break down, our focus shifts away from the students and toward internal conflict, and that is a cost our children cannot afford. Second, I believe we as a board must hold ourselves to the same standard. Too often, governing bodies become reactive rather than proactive, especially when difficult oversight decisions must be made. If we are serious about accountability, then accountability must be timely, principled, and consistent. It cannot be situational. It cannot be driven by pressure, personality, or public tension. Our responsibility is to govern with discipline, foresight, and courage. And let us be honest about why it matters so much right now. Academic performance standards they demand our full attention. Publicly available information shows us that Dayton Public Schools has remained below the state standard for overall district performance, including overall two-star rating in 2023 and 2024 reporting cycle. District highlights also note 5 stars in gifted value added with signs of academic progress in geometry and 6th grade math. These numbers show both the urgency of our challenges and the promise that exists when efforts are aligned with intentionality. The reality should focus on all of us, board members, district leaders, and staff, on one central question: what are we doing together to improve student outcomes? Ohio school report cards and publicly available materials from the public makes it clear that our work remains urgent. We should be intentionally focused on improving achievement, strengthening attendance, increasing graduation outcomes, and moving the district forward. On the State of Ohio report card, that requires more than statements of support. It requires alignment of leadership, resources, and decision-making. At the same time, as was stated earlier, we face fiscal reality with seriousness. Public state finance and audit materials underscore the importance of aligning district operations with budget constraints, enrollment trends, and long-term sustainability. If we are asking, or if we will be asking departments and employees to accept restraint, if we are discussing potential of freezing pays or limiting increases, then we must also ensure our own structural decisions are consistent with that message. It is difficult to ask for sacrifice on one level while expanding salaried opportunities or creating the appearance of inconsistency on another level. Public trust depends on consistency, and the profile shows us that our annual financial report are approaching some difficult times. So this season calls for discipline, it calls for intentionality, it calls for adults in leadership to stop competing agendas and return to a unified focus. Student success, operational coherence, and fiscal responsibility. Our students do not benefit when we are distracted. Our staff does not benefit, and this district and community does not benefit. As we see some of the repercussions from poverty, from low education, And from all of the social ills impacting our community, it begets violence. It begets a lot of the things that we see happening with our youth today and our young adults. So I am hopeful that this district takes a serious look internally, takes a serious look collectively, so that we can do what we were voted in here to do by the constituents that are here and that are in the city of Dayton. That's all I have. Thank you.
Ms. Hamilton?
Good evening, board members and leadership. Thank you. The only thing that I had to say was I wanted to make sure to invite the community as well as the board audit committee to the next audit committee meeting on June 25th. It'll be at 5:30 p.m. Traditionally, they go till 7 p.m. However, this one I anticipate becoming a little bit shorter. But the importance of this meeting in June is that the audit committee will approve, or the goal is for them to approve the fiscal year 27 audit plan. And that's really important because then it will move to the board for full board approval and resolution. I look forward to both the insight from the committee as well as from the board and from those present to discuss. So I look forward to that and wanted to make sure to have the invitation up there. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Powell, do you have anything? No. Madam Treasurer?
I have nothing to share.
And I have nothing. Just have a great summer. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for all the comments, teachers. I always hear Will say this, make the main thing the main thing, and for me, the main thing is our students, our employees. At some point in time, we're going to have to start really trusting one another, when working well, and not having our personal agendas, but to really strive to think about our students, our employees, our parents. That's really all I have to say for right now, but have a great summer.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Madam Treasurer.
Who moved it?
I move. Dr. Bailey, second.
Okay. President Bailey?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Garrison?
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith?
He's already
Smith
departed.
is left.
Okay. Mr. Walker?
Yes.
4 yeses.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, no problem.